Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a special Tuesday afternoon edition of the Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac High School Baseball Game of the Week. I'm Steve Wilson this afternoon, coming to you live from the campus of Melbourne Central Catholic, where the Hustlers play host to the Booker Tornadoes out of Sarasota, Florida. This is a region final contest. Region 2, the winner of this afternoon's contest, will play the winner of tonight's Jacksonville Bowls, Rutherford out of Panama City contest. Once again, the winner punches their ticket to the Final Four. We are moments away from the first pitch between the Tornadoes and the Hustlers. We'd like to set the defense for MCC. Out in left field, S.P. Perry. Center fielder, Will Erdman. Over in right field, Austin Nickel. Around the horn for the Hustlers, third base, Ryan Coscarello. Shortstop, Jack Nagy. Second baseman, Coleman LaRoche. Over at first base, Nick Durgan. The battery this afternoon for the Hustlers doing the catching, Christian Smallwood. And on the mound, a senior, Mark Potter. Leading off the top of the first for the Tornadoes, 1, 2, 3 will be Micah Davis, Ryan Heller, and James Bolden. First pitch set at 3:59. Swing and a miss, strike one. Micah Davis chases one high and inside. Starting lineup this afternoon for the Tornadoes, batting first, doing the pitching, number 5, Micah Davis. Batting second, playing left field, number 14, Ryan Heller. That pitch fouled out of play, no balls and 2 strikes on Davis. Batting third for the Tornadoes, third baseman number 20, James Bolden. Cleanup hitter this afternoon for Booker, second baseman number 7, Tanner Luke. Batting fifth, center fielder number 8, Nick Terzian. The 0-2 pitch. Call strike 3. Davis looks at one on the corner. He goes down on strikes to start off this game. Batting sixth for Booker, doing the catching, number 6, Jake Underhill. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 11, Dustin Lambert. Batting eighth for the Tornadoes, first baseman number 9, Hunter Johnson. And batting ninth, shortstop number 4, Cody Brown. As Ryan Heller is about set to step into the box, Heller will be hitting from the right side. First pitch by Mark Potter. Swing and a miss, strike one. No balls and 1 strike on Heller. Beautiful afternoon in Melbourne. We had a few clouds this morning. Not really a hint of rain, but it was kind of cloudy. Clouds parted about 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago. That pitch low evens it up at 1-1. Now there's a slight breeze blowing from the right field side to the left field side. But good crowd on hand. We're going to get this game in. No problem whatsoever. Call strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ryan Heller. James Bolden on deck behind Heller. There's 1 out in the top of the first. No score between the Tornadoes and the Hustlers. We are just now underway. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit, Ryan Heller. Past a diving second baseman for the Hustlers. That was Coleman LaRoche laying out for us. Good contact by Heller. So that'll put a Tornado runner on first with 1 out in the top of the first, and bring up the third baseman, number 20, James Bolden. Both teams coming off of big wins last week. Booker defeated Lakewood. They ruled them in 5 innings, 12-2. MCC did the same. It only took them 6 innings, but they defeated Satellite 11-1. First pitch, a slow roller to third base. He's going to try to go to second. He does get the leading lady. Nice play by the third baseman, Ryan Coscarello of the Hustlers, to force out Heller at second. So Bolden reaches first base on a fielder's choice. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, number 7, Tanner Luke. Tanner Luke about set to step in, wearing lucky number 7. Tornadoes with a base runner on first base. Mark Potter going from the stretch. Takes a glance to first, goes 2 home with the pitch. Nice pitch. Call strike. No balls and 1 strike on Tanner Luke. Nick Terzian on deck for the Tornadoes. Booker comes in with a 21-8 record. Head coach Jason Schmidt really has the team playing well, and that's what you want to do. You lose a few games during the regular season, who cares? As long as you make the top 2 in the district and advance to region play, that's what Booker's done. They made it all the way to the region final. They're playing a Hustler team that's only lost 1 out of 30 games. Coach Dooley's squad comes in with a 29-1 record, but as we all know, the records are thrown out the window. It is an elimination game. Winner goes on, loser goes home. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch to Tanner Luke. Foul straight back, hits the top of the fence behind home plate. We'll run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. A good crowd has come over from Sarasota. A lot of purple down the first base side. The visiting Booker Tornadoes. A lot of green down the third base side. Line drive foul just by inches. Had double written all over it. Bolden, I think, would have easily scored from first. With 2 outs, he's off and running. Luke just a little bit late on that fastball. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Potter gets the sign from Smallwood from the stretch. Timeout called by Tanner Luke before the pitch was thrown. Actually, the pitch was thrown, but he called timeout. The umpire granted him timeout. Potter went ahead and threw the pitch, which is what you do want to do. You don't want to stop your motion in the middle. So the count will remain 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Call strike 3. Tanner Luke goes down on strikes. So for the Tornadoes in the top of the first inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left. After 1/2 inning of play this afternoon, the Booker Tornadoes 0, the MCC Hustlers coming to bat. Once again, this is a Region 2 championship contest. The winner of this afternoon's game will play the winner of tonight's Jacksonville Bowls Rutherford contest in Region 1. 4 other teams still remaining in Class 5A. That's in Region 3. Bishop Moore will be traveling to the Villages. And then in Region 4, that was Region 3, Region 4, Monsignor Pace and Pompano Beach will go at it. So Class 5A down to 8 teams. After tonight, they'll be down to 4. Those 4 teams will play next Wednesday at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. Winner of those 2 games will advance to the state championship game the following day. So it's all about winning this afternoon, winning tonight, and doing it again next week, both Wednesday and Thursday. Interesting format for region play, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes, but let's set the defense for the Tornadoes. Out in left field, Ryan Heller, center fielder Nick Terzian, right fielder Dustin Lambert. Going around the horn in the infield, third baseman James Bolden, shortstop Cody Brown, second baseman for the Tornadoes this afternoon Tanner Luke. Over at first base, Hunter Johnson. Doing the catching for Booker, number 6, Jake Underhill. And on the mound, number 5, Micah Davis. For the MCC Hustlers in the bottom of the first, it'll be Coleman LaRoche, Jack Nagy, and Christian Smallwood hitting 1, 2, 3. LaRoche stepping in from the right side. First pitch by Davis, called strike. No balls and 1 strike on LaRoche. Coleman LaRoche, the reigning Friday night locker room player of the game for his play last week versus Satellite. He got on base, I believe, it was 4 or 5 times. I think it was 5 times LaRoche got on base. He took home the hardware last week. Friday Night Locker Room presents a Player of the Game plaque after every game. Ground ball foul down the third base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Hustlers' second baseman. Once again, immediately after the contest, we'll be presenting our Friday Night Locker Room Player of the Game plaque to either a Booker Tornado or an MCC Hustler. Davis on the mound gets the sign from Underhill. Here's the windup and the pitch. Ground ball chopper to second base. Shouldn't be a problem. It's going to be close, and he is safe. The speed of Coleman LaRoche. The ball was fielded cleanly by second baseman Tanner Luke. I think it was a high hopper. It was a chopper to second base. Looked like initially the Tornadoes were going to make the play, but one of those plays where the ball just would not come down for Luke, and the speed of LaRoche puts a runner for MCC on first with nobody out. No error committed. There's just nothing you can do. You wait and wait and wait for the ball to come down, and it finally comes down, but a half a step too late. And that'll put in Jack Nagy. He shows bunt, pops it up foul, straight back. No chance for Underhill to feel that bunt that was popped up. Coach Tom Dooley trying to play small ball and advance LaRoche to second base. No score in the bottom of the first inning. LaRoche reaches first base on an infield hit. Jack Nagy, the shortstop for the Hustlers, trying to advance him to second base. He shows bunt again. Third baseman moves in, pulls it back. The ball gets past the catcher. LaRoche is going to easily walk to, well, he doesn't walk. An MCC player does not walk. He runs to second base. The MCC Hustlers are literally the Hustlers. If you've never seen them play, they do not walk anywhere, period. If they do, they don't play for MCC. Very well coached team, all out hustle on every single play. So now the Hustlers with a runner on second. Nagy showing bunt again, high and tight. Ball just a little inside. Jack Nagy just able to get out of the way of that pitch. Ball ricocheted off the catcher, Jake Underhill. So the home plate umpire is going to walk slowly out and talk to the pitcher, give Underhill, the catcher, a minute to catch his breath. Christian Smallwood on deck for the Hustlers. Umpire's heading back. He's asking Underhill, is he okay? And so now the umpire is going to dust off home plate and give number 6 plenty of time to catch his breath. He's ready. Scoreboard shows 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs in the bottom of the first inning. The Hustlers with a runner on second. Jack Nagy in the batter's box calls timeout. Steps out. Wants to swing the bat 1 or 2 times, loosen up. Get comfortable. The Hustlers would love to strike early in this game. You get down to the final 8, every baseball team is good. Breaking ball inside evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now you can play a team in region finals that might have gotten there because the district wasn't as strong as others, or it's a small district. And you can even advance to the second round and play a team that's somewhere in the middle. But you make a region final game, you're going to be playing good baseball teams from this point forward. That pitch inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Nagy. Micah Davis takes a glance towards second base. He goes home with the pitch. A 1 hopper to shortstop, fielded cleanly, 6-3 put out, will advance Coleman LaRoche over to third base. So Nagy does his job getting the base runner over to third. And that'll bring up the MCC Hustlers catcher, number 10, Christian Smallwood. On deck behind Smallwood is the right fielder, number 8, Austin Nickel. No score in the bottom of the first, only 1 out. Here's the pitch, called strike. Nice pitch by Micah Davis. Smallwood's job is to get him home however you can get him home, whether it's an infield force out, sac fly. 0-1 pitch. A high hopper over the head of the first baseman. Base hit by Christian Smallwood will bring Coleman LaRoche home for the first run of this baseball game. It was a high chopper over the head of the first baseman. Good effort by the second baseman, Tanner Luke, to try to get to the ball. He could not get to it in time. It was fielded by Dustin Lambert in right field. So now the Hustlers will have a runner on first base. That'll be Eric Adler, who's going to run for the catcher, Christian Smallwood. That'll bring up the right fielder for MCC, wearing number 8, Austin Nickel. Still only one out in the bottom of the first inning. MCC 1, Booker nothing. Micah Davis from the stretch takes a look at first, goes home with the pitch. Just misses one down the right field side, right field line, foul, no balls, and one strike on Nickel. Nickel just a little late on that fastball. Even with Hunter Johnson holding Christian Smallwood on at first base or close to it, that ball almost snuck between the first baseman and the bag. Good speed on the bases in the person of Eric Adler for the Hustlers. He takes about a 6-foot lead, goes back to first base safely. Nice play by Hunter Johnson. Pickoff attempt by Davis was almost thrown away, which would have easily allowed Adler to get to second base. So there's no balls and one strike on Nickel. Breaking ball called strike. Nice pitch by Davis. No balls, 2 strikes on the Hustlers right fielder. Doubleheader baseball for you on SpaceCoastDaily.com. Booker versus MCC as we speak. Tonight it'll be Archbishop McCarthy at Rockledge in a Class 6A region final contest. Here's the pitch. Lifted to left field. It's going to drift foul, I believe. Yes, it is. Foul ball. Count remains. No balls and 2 strikes. Nickel got around on that one just a little bit more than he would have liked. Good effort by Ryan Heller in left field to try to get to it. Umpire shows Micah Davis no balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the first inning. Pitch by Davis, just a little low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hustlers have scored 1 run in the bottom of the first inning, 2 base hits, one by Coleman LaRoche, an RBI single by Christian Smallwood. From the stretch. Foul straight back. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Nickel. Pitcher Mark Potter on deck for the Hustlers. You can tell early on we've got a couple of good pitchers in the persons of Micah Davis and Mark Potter. So runs will be at a premium this afternoon. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch is high, evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quick timeout call by Micah Davis. Didn't like that baseball, so the umpire's going to hand one to Jake Underhill. He's going to toss it back to Micah Davis on the mound. Hustlers with a runner on first. 1 out in the bottom of the first, up by 1, 1-0. Pitch by Davis. Foul straight back again. Count remains even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I was mentioning, a big-time battle can be heard right here at 7 o'clock tonight. Archbishop McCarthy out of South Florida. It's won the state championship 5 of the last 6 years. They'll be traveling to Rockledge to take on the Raiders. Nice pitch, call strike 3. Nickel caught looking. Breaking ball right where Davis wanted it to be. So now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up the Hustlers pitcher, number 16, Mark Potter. Potter hitting from the right side. 2 outs. Eric Adler, runner at first, will be running on any kind of contact. Davis still wants to keep him close. Potter swings the bat well. Here's the first pitch. Call, strike, right down the middle. No balls, 1 strike on Mark Potter. S.P. Perry on deck for MCC. Pitch just misses low to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The left-handed hitting Perry swinging in the on-deck circle. Would love to get an at-bat this half inning. Potter waiting patiently in the batter's box for the 1-1 pitch. 2-hopper to the third baseman, fielded cleanly. Bang, bang, play out. 5-3 put out, record that one. So for the Hustlers in the bottom of inning number 1, they come up with 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. After 1 inning of play this afternoon, MCC 1, Booker nothing. We'd like to thank our title sponsor, Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac. They are located on the 520 Causeway, Merritt Island, and they're an authorized sales and service outlet for new Nissan and Cadillac products, and they carry a line of used cars and trucks. The website, MikeUrbanMotors.com. The telephone, 453-2050. We'd also like to thank Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa. Sean O'Reilly and the whole gang at Beefs have always been big supporters of local sports, and the tie-in with the Friday Night Locker Room is a natural. The menu includes chicken, steak, and fish taco baskets, and, of course, wings. Thanks to Sean O'Reilly, Timmy O'Reilly, Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa. Beautiful evening for high school baseball, afternoon actually. Evening contest will be between the Mavericks and the Raiders, Class 6A. We're on the campus of MCC, Class 5A. The Hustlers started their drive playing McKeel Academy, a tight ball game, winning 2-0 here at home. They also hosted a second round contest, defeating Satellite by a score of 11-1 last week. Sarasota Booker played at home in the first round. They beat Lake Placid by a score of 8-3. They were at home last week as well, defeating Lakewood by a score of 12-2. So both teams coming off of big wins last week. MCC 11-1, Booker 12-2. As we move to the top of the second inning, it'll be Nick Terzian, Jake Underhill, and Dustin Lambert. First pitch to Terzian, call strike. No balls, 1 strike on the Tornadoes center fielder. Terzian hitting from the left side. Trying to nibble on the corner. Good job by Terzian laying off of that pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch by Potter. High heat, swing and a miss. Strike, 1 balls and 2 strikes. Potter's a big guy. He stands 6'6", probably about 230. Throws the ball very hard and has a nice breaking ball to go with it. So he's a tough one. Just getting a piece of that one is Nick Terzian. Christian Smallwood, the catcher for MCC, saying, I caught it. Umpire said, nah, it hit the dirt. So the count will remain at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Potter ready to throw the 1-2 pitch. Call strike, nice pitch. Terzian goes down on strikes. That'll bring up the Tornadoes catcher, number 6, Jake Underhill. Dustin Lambert on deck for Booker. Once again, a pretty good breeze blowing this afternoon from the right field side to the left field side. The ball fouled down the first base side, out of play. Good effort by the Hustlers' first baseman, Nick Durgan, going as far as he could. He ran out of real estate, no balls and 1 strike on Jake Underhill. Underhill hitting from the right side. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch, just a little low. Evens it up at 1-1. Hustlers scored 1 run in the bottom of the first inning. Base hit by Coleman LaRoche. RBI single by Christian Smallwood. Here's the 1-1 pitch. 1 hopper to shortstop. It's going to be close. Nice play defensively. Another one of those plays where you have to wait for the ball to come down, and it was a 1 hopper, but it was a high hopper. Shortstop Jack Nagy fields it cleanly, fires it over to Durgan at first to record the second out in the top of the first inning. And that'll bring up the Booker right fielder, number 11, Dustin Lambert. Lambert stepping in, hitting from the right side. First pitch inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Hunter Johnson, the first baseman for the Tornadoes, on deck. 1-0 pitch is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. So Potter falls behind the number 7 batter, Dustin Lambert. 2 balls and no strikes. No runners on, 2 outs. That pitch inside so quickly, Dustin Lambert looks at 3 out of the zone. 3 balls and no strikes to the Tornadoes right fielder. Potter steps off of the mound, catches his breath just for a split second now. Gets back on the mound, toes the rubber. Here is the 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle, 3 balls and 1 strike. I would not expect a lot of runs to be scored in this game by either team, the way these pitchers are throwing early. That pitch is low and away. Dustin Lambert's going to walk to first base and put a runner on first for the Tornadoes with 2 outs. And that'll bring up the Booker first baseman, number 9, Hunter Johnson. Johnson steps in, hitting from the left side. Mark Potter from the stretch takes a glance at first, breaking for second. Hit and run was on, foul tip. Straight back, so Lambert will have to retreat back to first base. Got a pretty good jump, did Dustin Lambert. No balls and 1 strike on Johnson. He's the number 8 batter for the Booker Tornadoes. Still trying to retrieve that foul ball. Nah, we got it. Got to make sure it's out of play, even though it's in foul territory. You got to pick them up. You don't want somebody defensively stumbling over a foul ball, chasing one. So Johnson steps back in. He'll look at a 0-1 pitch from senior Mark Potter. Potter goes home with the pitch. Call strike on the corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Hunter Johnson steps out. I don't know that he was overly thrilled with that call, but it is what it is. So the first baseman will be looking at an 0-2 pitch. 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Snap throw to first base. Lambert gets back safely. Great crowd on hand. Crowd still coming in as we speak. We're in the top of the second inning. Timeout called by Hunter Johnson. He's thinking that Mark Potter's taking just a little bit too much time. So he'll back out of the box now, step back in. Umpire says play ball. Potter from the stretch. Breaking again, ground ball to shortstop. He's going to step on the bag to force the out. He being Jack Nagy of the MCC Hustlers. So Lambert is forced at second to end the top of the second inning. For the Booker Tornadoes in the top of inning number 2, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. After an inning and a half of play this afternoon, MCC 1, Booker 0. We'd also like to thank a couple more of our sponsors. They're the ones that allow us to do what we do each and every broadcast. I normally say every Friday night. The name of our show is the Friday Night Locker Room, so 9 out of 10 times we're on Friday night covering local high school sports. No one team in particular. For instance, in Brevard County, there are 44 teams that play a combined baseball and softball, so we cover them all. But our sponsors are the ones that allow us to do what we do each and every broadcast. We would like to thank Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office. They provide representation for members of the public who have suffered head trauma or a brain or spinal cord injury. Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office is located in Rockledge at 830 Executive Lane, Suite 140. The phone number for Jim Knutson, 632-2722. We'd also like to thank Planet Fitness. They're located in Rockledge Plaza at 1802 U.S. Highway 1 in Rockledge. Planet Fitness has a 23,000 square foot facility with fitness equipment and cardio machines. The phone number, 433-1331. As we're set to move to the bottom of the second inning, it'll be S.P. Perry, Will Erdman, and Jackson Taylor going 1-2-3 for the Hustlers. First pitch by Davis is low and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Planet Fitness is currently undergoing a renovation. They'll have a grand reopening next Tuesday, a week from today. It's going to be like a brand new facility in Rockledge. That pitch inside, 2 balls and no strikes on the number 6 batter for the Hustlers, S.P. Perry. Perry hitting from the left side. Micah Davis throwing from the right side. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Check swing, call strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nice pitch by Davis. Perry steps out, steps back in. Ground ball, base hit to left field by S.P. Perry. Third baseman for the Tornadoes, James Bolden, laying out, diving to his left. Ball goes right under his glove. So the Hustlers will lead off the bottom of the second inning with a base hit. And that'll bring up the center fielder wearing number 6, Will Erdman. Erdman's first at bat this afternoon. He bats in the number 7 slot for the Hustlers. Perry, your base runner on first, showing bunt, pulling it back. Ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Once again, Coach Dooley trying to advance the base runner. There's nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. MCC up 1-0. They'd love to somehow or another work Perry around, put him into scoring position, and then let something positive happen. Easier said than done. Micah Davis throws the ball extremely well. Here's the 1-0 pitch, square into bunt. Bunts it foul straight back, evens it up at 1-1. Will Erdman, a senior for Coach Dooley's MCC Hustlers, one of the best athletes, all-around athletes to come out of Brevard in some time. He was Friday night locker room first team Space Coast football player, made the All-Star basketball team. He's hitting over 300, about 360 on the baseball field. Bunt down the first base side. Is it going to go fair or foul? It is fair, and he is safe at first. Erdman pushes the bunt down towards first base, is right on the line, inches in foul territory. The speed of Will Erdman allows him to reach first base. So now the Hustlers, back-to-back base hits, have runners on first and second with nobody out. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, number 24, Jackson Taylor. Erdman runs as well as anyone in this county. Was just talking about how much of an overall athlete he is. He showed it on that play. Now Davis has runners on first and second, nobody out, bottom of the second. Goes home, squaring the bunt, pull it back. That ball's low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Taylor trying to push Perry over to third and Erdman to second. Once again, Coach Dooley wanting just to put the ball in play, make his defense put his players out. Taylor's going to square and show bunt again. He's going to pull it. That was high and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Good job by Taylor. So often when these players get the bunt sign, they're anxious to bunt, but it's still all about bunting balls in the strike zone. Nice job by Jackson Taylor to pull the bat back on the first 2 pitches by Micah Davis. Taylor bats in the number 8 slot. He shows bunt once again. He bunts out one straight back foul, 2 balls and 1 strike. Charging first baseman Hunter Johnson. So the Tornadoes still expecting a bunt. Johnson not going all the way back to first base. He's not holding Erdman on. He's about 16, 17, 18 feet inside the bag. That ball low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Once again, Taylor showed bunt, pulled it back. So now Jackson Taylor is going to be looking at a 3-1 pitch. Ryan Coscarello will be on deck for MCC, showing bunt. Ball 4 inside. Davis unable to find a strike zone with that batter. And that'll load him up for MCC in the bottom of the second inning. Taylor on first, Erdman on second, Perry on third. Underhill calls timeout. Wants to have a quick word with his pitcher, Micah Davis. There's nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. MCC up 1-0. Ryan Coscarello, the number 9 batter, about set to step into the box. Could do some damage early. Here's the pitch by Davis. Swing and a miss. No balls and one strike on number 7. LaRoche, Nagy anxiously awaiting. They'll be the next two batters. That pitch outside evens it up at 1-1. Ryan Coscarello hitting from the right side. Bases full of hustlers. Nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the pitch on the corner. Nice pitch. Call strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ryan Coscarello. Micah Davis going from the windup. Just misses. Good call by the umpire. It looked to be, for the fans on the right field side, or the first base side, a strike, but that one was just a little bit off the plate. Evens it up at 2-2. Foul straight back. Count remains 2-2. Good vantage point for us here at the Friday Night Locker Room. We're right behind home plate, just a little bit to the first base side, maybe 15 feet to the right of home plate. Coscarello steps back in. 2-2 pitch by Davis. Just gets a piece of that breaking ball. Count remains even at 2-2. Nice swing by Coscarello. That ball had some good break to it. I thought Coscarello was going to go down on that one. So he'll look at another 2-2 pitch, and here it comes. Fastball call, strike on the corner. Coscarello looks at strike 3. So now there's 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Hustlers get back up to the top of their lineup, and that'll bring up second baseman number 15, Coleman LaRoche. LaRoche led off the bottom of the first inning with a base hit, eventually scored on Christian Smallwood's RBI single. Bases full of hustlers. Here's the pitch by Davis. Breaking ball outside. Nice stop by catcher Jake Underhill. Smallwood, 2 batters down. Jack Nagy, the next scheduled batter, then Smallwood. Pitch by Micah Davis. Fastball just misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. LaRoche walked a couple of times last week against Satellite and was hit by a pitch. He's very patient. That pitch high and tight. 3 balls and no strikes to LaRoche. You know he won't be swinging at this one. Davis wants another baseball. Now he's set. LaRoche steps out, steps back in. Bases full of hustlers. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's ball 4. And the Hustlers will score the second run of this baseball game as S.P. Perry trots home. So credit Coleman LaRoche with an RBI. That'll push Will Erdman over to third, Jackson Taylor to second, and Coleman LaRoche to first. Jack Nagy stepping into the batter's box. He's 0 for 1 this afternoon. Pitch straight up, shortstop, third baseman catches it. They're going to call it infield fly regardless, but pitcher, shortstop, third baseman all converge. James Bolden eventually catches it, but they're going to call it an out anyway. So now there's 2 outs in the bottom of the second, and that'll bring up the catcher, number 10, Christian Smallwood. If the Tornadoes can get out of this inning with allowing only 1 run, they have to consider themselves fortunate. Micah Davis from the windup, bases full of MCC Hustlers. First pitch right down the middle. No balls and 1 strike to Smallwood. Smallwood had an RBI single in the first inning. A chopper over the head of the first baseman into short right field. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, gets away from the catcher. Scoring easily from third base is Will Erdman with a 3rd run of this game. Tough break for the Tornadoes. That was a breaking ball in the dirt. Catcher Underhill did everything he could do, but he could not stop it. So Jackson Taylor's going to move over to third base. Coleman LaRoche now standing on second base. 1 ball, 1 strike on Christian Smallwood. That pitch is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Davis muscled up on that one. Set to throw the 2-1 pitch is Micah Davis. Low and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike on the Hustlers catcher. MCC up 3-0, bottom of the second inning, with runners on second and third. Can do some more damage if Smallwood can get a clutch 2-out base hit. Micah Davis ready to shut the door on this batter. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball finds the zone. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nice off-speed pitch by Davis. Austin Nickel on deck for the Hustlers. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Line drive, right field, base hit. Both runners will score easily. A 2 RBI single to right field by Christian Smallwood has given the Hustlers a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Clutch hitting so far by Christian Smallwood. He has 3 RBIs this afternoon for the Hustlers. And that'll bring up the right fielder for MCC, number 8, Austin Nickel. Taylor easily scored from second. Coleman LaRoche off with 2 outs Taylor scored from third. LaRoche scored from second. That'll bring up Austin Nickel. Nickel hitting from the right side. First pitch foul straight back. No balls and 1 strike on Austin Nickel. Nickel hitting in the cleanup spot for Coach Tom Dooley's MCC Hustlers. Micah Davis on the mound, set to throw the 0-1 pitch to Nickel. Foul down the left field side, give and chase. Running out of room is the third baseman and the left fielder. Good hustle. Both Ryan Heller in left field and James Bolden ran a long way, unable to come up with that foul ball. So the scoreboard's going to show no balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of inning number 2. MCC with a runner on first. Hustlers have scored 4 runs in the bottom of the second. Here is the pitch. Way high up in the eyes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Micah Davis moving around. He's doing a little maintenance on the mound, making sure that his landing spot is how he wants it to be. Now he's set. Gets back on the rubber, takes a glance towards first base. That's Christian Smallwood on first base. And Austin Nickel gets hit by a pitch, so he'll walk to first base. I'm saying that Smallwood. The courtesy runner is actually Adler. Adler ran for Smallwood last time in the first inning, and he's running for him again here in the second inning. So you have Adler running on second base, Austin Nickel, after being hit by a pitch, running at first base. Quick timeout called by the Tornadoes. They're going to visit with pitcher Micah Davis. And it appears they'll be making a pitching change. Hunter Johnson changes gloves. He's going to go from first base to the mound. And it looks like Tanner Luke will now go to first base. Now Luke's going to continue walking, so he'll stay at second base. Micah Davis is walking towards first base. So we'll find out in just a minute. A number of the players are standing together, so you don't know exactly who's going to play where. So, pitching change here in the bottom of the second inning. The MCC Hustlers came into the inning up by a score of 1-0. S.P. Perry led off with a base hit. Will Erdman bunts the ball, pushes it down first base, beats that out. So all of a sudden the Hustlers with runners on first and second. Jackson Taylor walks. The bases are loaded. Davis gets Coscarella called out on strikes, but then he walks Coleman LaRoche, which forces S.P. Perry home. And Jack Nagy pops up to the third baseman. You're thinking, okay, not too bad. They've only allowed one run. And then Christian Smallwood gets an RBI, a 2 RBI single. Austin Nickel is hit by a pitch. So the Hustlers now with runners on first and second, 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. MCC up 5-0. The left-handed thrower Hunter Johnson will now be on the mound. Still trying to pick up the numbers and who's where, and I just don't know. If he'll turn around for me, I'll tell you who's where. Davis is either at first or at short, and I'll bet you that's him at short. But anyway, we're about ready to resume play. Mark Potter steps into the batter's box. Potter hits the ball deep to left field. It'll be over the head of the left fielder. 1 run will score. Coach Dooley waving the other run home, scoring easily. A stand-up double for Mark Potter brings in 2 more MCC runs. Potter jumps on the first pitch, drives it over the head of the left fielder Ryan Heller to the base of the wall. The wind's blowing from right to left, but it wasn't wind-aided. Potter really got all of that one. Eric Adler scores from second base. Austin Nickel with 2 outs scores all the way from first base. So the Hustlers are now up by a score of 7-0. And that will bring up the left fielder for MCC, number 23, S.P. Perry. Perry started this inning with a base hit. So this will be his second at bat this inning. Hunter Johnson, the left-hander, on the mound. First pitch called strike. No balls in 1 strike to S.P. Perry. Perry steps out. Now he steps back in. Runner on second. I didn't see who the courtesy runner is for Potter. I'll see if I can pick his number up. That ball low. Evens it up at 1-1. That's a long way. That's what that is. That might be Mike Ridyard. It looks like a number 20. 1-1 pitch thrown by Johnson, off speed in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, Jake Underhill. That ball easily could have gotten past him, allowing the base runner, which I believe is Ridyard, to advance to third. So the left-handed hitter, S.P. Perry, in the batter's box waiting for the 2-1 pitch. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Ground ball to first baseman, 2 hopper, unable to field it, so advancing, reaching first base. Kind of a wicked hop. You're going to have to show it as an error. One of those could have gone either way, but it was hit right to him, unable to field it. So now the Hustlers with the runners on the corners. Ridyard on third, Perry on first. And that'll bring up the Hustlers center fielder, number 6, Will Erdman. Erdman had a bunt single earlier this inning, eventually scored. Here's the pitch. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it out of play. No balls and 1 strike on Will Erdman. Erdman hits from the right side. On the football field, does a little bit of everything. He's defensive back, plays a little H-back, running back, receiver, special teams. They will miss him on the football field next year. Off-speed pitch, low and away, evens it up at 1-1. MCC 7, Sarasota Booker nothing. We're in the bottom of inning number 2. An explosion offensively by MCC, squaring to bunt down third, trying to bunt for a base hit. Foul ball just by inches. Erdman almost had his second bunt single of this inning. He'll trot back to first base. The scoreboard in left field will show a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning, a long second inning here on the campus of Melbourne Central Catholic. Catcher lines up outside, 1-2 pitch. Foul straight back. Count will remain 1-2. Catcher Underhill lined up so far outside, even if the ball had hit his mitt, there's no way that's going to be in the zone. But they're trying to get Urban to chase one out of the zone. Now he lines up inside, 1-2 pitch. Low and inside, evens it up at 2-2. Jackson Taylor, the designated hitter for the Hustlers, is on deck. He walked and scored earlier this inning. Hustlers runners on the corner. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Urban swings, puts it up in foul territory. Looks like there's going to be room for the first baseman, and there is. Nice catch by the first baseman of the Booker Tornadoes. But for the MCC Hustlers in the bottom of the second inning, they come up with 6 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left. After 2 innings of play this afternoon, MCC 7, Booker 0. You're listening to the Friday Night Locker Room, sponsored by Microman Nissan Cadillac. Once again, this is a region final contest. This is region number 2 between the MCC Hustlers and the Booker Tornadoes. Region 1 consists of Jacksonville, Bowles, and Rutherford. Those are the 2 teams left in the top half of the brackets. In the lower half, Region 3, Bishop Moore versus the Villages. Region 4, Monsignor Pace versus Pompano Beach. If there's a sentimental favorite among these 8 teams, it has to be Bishop Moore out of Orlando. One of the young men on the Bishop Moore team passed away about a week and a half ago. He was diagnosed with cancer in December, just 6 months ago, and lost the battle a couple of weeks ago. This is a team that wasn't ranked, but they've just hit their stride. They're playing not only on emotion, but playing good, solid baseball at this time. Friday Night Locker Room knows too much about pediatric cancer. We're just coming off of a pediatric cancer fundraiser that we held last week, very successful in Brevard County. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but a very sad story over in Orlando for Bishop Moore. So if there is a sentimental favorite among these 8 teams, it is the Bishop Moore Hornets. But we're set to move to the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be Cody Brown, Micah Davis, and Ryan Heller for the Sarasota Booker Tornadoes. Booker finds themselves down by a score of 7-0 as they move to the top of inning number 3. Quick timeout called by catcher Christian Smallwood. Breaking the action, Coach Dooley's going to talk to the umpire. A couple of conversations going on out there. But we just finished up a pediatric cancer fundraiser. All proceeds went to the St. Baldrick's Foundation. What happened was the home plate umpire was hit by a foul ball. But raised some good money for St. Baldrick's, and we are already planning another one later at the end of the year. Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey approached us, said he'd like to hold a fundraiser in conjunction with the Friday Night Locker Room to raise funds for pediatric cancer research. So it's an area that's near and dear to the heart of all of us on this team. But looks like the home plate umpire is fine. He's ready to call balls and strikes. Cody Brown steps back into the batter's box. No balls, 1 strike on the Booker Tornadoes shortstop. Mark Potter back on the mound. Here is the pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Potter signed to continue his education at Jacksonville University, but he's going to, I'm sure, wait and see what happens in the Major League Baseball draft. He is that good. Here's the pitch. Tried to get Brown to chase one outside. He did not. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So options on the table for pitcher Mark Potter of the MCC Hustlers. 6'6", 230, hard throwing right-hander. The great off-speed pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brown goes down on strikes. That'll get the Tornadoes back up to the top of their batting order. and bring up Micah Davis. Davis started on the mound. Made the position change last half inning as Hunter Johnson relieved him. So now Davis steps in. He's 0 for 1 this afternoon. He was called out on strikes to lead off this baseball game. First pitch breaking ball, called strike, no balls, and 1 strike. Once again, good breeze, good wind blowing from right field to left field. Outfielders shaded to the right. They don't think Davis is going to get around on the fastball of Mark Potter. Infield playing about straight up, but the outfielders are shaded maybe 10 to 12 feet to their left towards the first base side. A lot of room between the left fielder and the left field line. That ball was tipped, no balls and 2 strikes. So now Davis will be looking at an 0-2 pitch from Potter. Peers over the top of his glove. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Micah Davis goes down on strikes for the second time. That ball probably out of the strike zone was up and in, but when you have 2 strikes, if you think it's close, you have to go after it. You have to protect. So now there are 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up the Tornadoes left fielder, number 14, Ryan Heller. Heller 1 for 1 this afternoon. He has the only Booker base hit. Ground ball to shortstop, a 3-hopper all the way across the diamond. Nice throw by Jack Nagy to get Heller. Nagy had to drift to his right. It is about a 3-hopper. He fielded it cleanly, fired it across the diamond. So for the Tornadoes in the top of the 3rd inning, they go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. After 2.5 innings of play this afternoon, MCC 7, Booker nothing. We'd like to thank one of our main men, Tommy Eberhardt, Florida Master Temp, one of the sponsors here on the Friday Night Locker Room. Florida Master Temp is located at 3475 North Highway US 1 in Cocoa. They are an authorized sales and service outlet for air conditioning systems, refrigeration equipment, ice making equipment, and machines. The office phone is answered 24 hours a day. The telephone for Florida Master Temp, area code 321-639-3166. We'd also like to thank Al's Trophy Shop. They have 2 Brevard County locations, one on Palm Bay Road in Palm Bay, and the other in Cocoa on US 1 just north of the beach line. Al's Trophy Shop creates custom plaques and trophies. Al's Trophy Shop is reached by phone at area code 321-636-6188. And once again, immediately after the game this afternoon, we will be presenting our Friday Night Locker Room Player of the Game plaque that was put together by Al's Trophy Shop. They do an outstanding job, a really sharp-looking plaque that we hand out after every ball game. No matter what sport we're broadcasting, football, baseball, softball, basketball, we go year-round on the Friday Night Locker Room, and during the summertime, holy cow, we get into a little bit of everything. We've travel ball, Little League, we've done U.S. Olympic trial, boxing, you name it, we've done it over the years on the Friday Night Locker Room, but the overwhelming majority of what we do revolves around high school sports. That's what we enjoy more than anything. Spring football games next week. We'll be doing 2 or 3 games here on the coast as we move to the bottom of inning number 3. It'll be Jackson Taylor, Ryan Coscarello, and Coleman LaRoche for the Hustlers. Nice pitch by the lefty Hunter Johnson, evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Taylor hitting in the number 8 slot. He's walked and scored his one and only time up this afternoon. That was in the 6-run 2nd inning for the Hustlers. Nice pitch by Johnson, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big inning for MCC in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They're up 7-0 with the big guy on the mound. Here is the pitch by Johnson. Off-speed pitch, ground ball to shortstop, fielded cleanly. Nice play, wild throw, tagged by the first baseman. And that is Tanner Luke over at first base. I'm glad he turned around, so now I know. So Luke is at first. That means Micah Davis is now the shortstop. No, he's not. Micah Davis is the second baseman. Regardless, it was a nice play by Tanner Luke. The shortstop fielded it cleanly. The throw was inside, is a little bit wide. Luke grabs it, tags the runner. Ball hit well to center field, camping under it to record the second out. Ryan Coscarello flies out to center fielder Nick Terzian. So now there are 2 quick outs in the bottom of the third. And that will bring up the second baseman, number 15, Coleman LaRoche. LaRoche 1 for 1 this afternoon and scored twice. He does exactly what you want your leadoff batter to do. He walked, I believe it was 3 times last week and was hit by a pitch. Once got a base hit, and today he's 1 for 1. He has a walk. He scored twice. He looks at the first pitch, strike, no balls and 1 strike to Coleman LaRoche. Shows bunt. He's going to try to push it back past the pitcher. Nice play by Hunter Johnson. He grabs it going to his left with his bare hand, flips over to first baseman Tanner Luke to record the third out. So for the Hustlers in the bottom of the third inning, they come up with no runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left. After three innings of play this afternoon, MCC 7, Booker nothing. You're listening to the Friday Night Locker Room, sponsored by Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac on the 520 Causeway, Merritt Island. We would like to thank also Community Bank of the South. They have 3 locations, one at 277 North Sykes Creek Parkway in Merritt Island, one on State Road 524 in Cocoa, and the other at 1902 South Fisk Boulevard in Rockledge. Community Bank of the South provides personal banking, online banking, business banking, commercial and residential loans, and other service. Community Bank of the South is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured. The website, cbosdirect.com. We'd also like to thank DeCandio and Associates, Allstate Insurance. They have 2 locations, one in Port St. John at 950 Fay Boulevard, and the other at Mims at 3239 North Highway US 1. For auto, home, life investments, disability, plus boats, motorcycles, 4-wheelers, or renters insurance, Jennifer DeCandio, Agency Principal and Associates, Allstate Insurance. Beautiful weather on the campus of Melbourne Central Catholic as we move to the top of the 4th inning. The MCC Hustlers currently enjoy a 7-0 lead over the Sarasota Booker Tornadoes in this region final contest. First pitch flied out to right field. That's James Bolden swinging at the first pitch. The winner of this afternoon's contest will play in a state semifinal game next Wednesday against the winner of the Jacksonville Bowls Rutherford game that will be played later tonight. The loser, unfortunately, their season will come to an end. So that'll bring up the first baseman for the Tornadoes, wearing number 7, Tanner Luke. Luke 0 for 1 this afternoon, struck out in the second inning. First pitch called strike, no balls and 1 strike. Potter continues to throw the ball well. He's allowed 1 base hit this afternoon, and that was a single to Ryan Heller in the second inning. That pitch right down the middle, no balls and 2 strikes. 6 base hits recorded so far by the Hustlers from MCC. Christian Smallwood with a couple of base hits and 3 RBIs. Luke steps out, now steps back in. He calls timeout again, so we'll have a short break in the action. Umpire says play ball. Mark Potter's ready. Tanner Luke is ready. That pitch is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfield shaded over to right field once again. The infield at about normal depth, pretty much playing them straight up. Breaking ball foul straight up. Smallwood, the catcher, throws his mask in foul territory and records the out. Nice catch by number 10. Those aren't as easy as they look. Those high pop flies, and there's a pretty good breeze blowing from right field to left field, but nice job by Christian Smallwood to camp under that one and record the out. That'll bring up the center fielder for Booker, number 8, Nick Terzian. Terzian hitting from the left side, swings at the first pitch, foul down the left field side, out of play. Terzian 0 for 1 this afternoon. He struck out to lead off the second inning. MCC 7, Sarasota Booker nothing. We're in the top of the fourth inning. I'm Steve Wilson. A special Tuesday afternoon edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. A one-hopper to the second baseman, an easy 4-3 put-out recorded by the Hustlers. That's Coleman LaRoche to Nick Durgan to complete the top of the fourth inning. So for the Tornadoes, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left. After 3.5 innings of play this afternoon, the score remains MCC 7, Sarasota Booker nothing. You're listening to the Friday Night Locker Room, sponsored by Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac. Once again, a lot of action, a lot of events in the near future here on the Space Coast. This is a busy period for Brevard County. We will have had 5 special events in a 6-week period. We've completed 3. Next one coming up, Sunday, May 29th, will be a special Memorial Day ceremony held at the City of Rockledge's Larry Schultz Park, which is at the corner of Levitt Parkway and Fisk Boulevard. The city holds their Memorial Day ceremony the day before Memorial Day so as not to compete and conflict with parades and other events that are going on around the area on that Monday. But Sunday, May 29th, it'll be a nice ceremony, very important, probably the most important event that the City of Rockledge puts on every year, and that's Memorial Day ceremony because of the meaning behind Memorial Day. You know, it's designed to honor and pay respect to those that gave their life in defending this country. So we have some special guest speakers. Sheriff Wayne Ivey will kick it off. We have Port Commissioner Wayne Justice, who is a retired Rear Admiral with the Coast Guard. And we have a to-be-determined guest speaker from Patrick Air Force Base. Will be in attendance speaking as well. So once again, that'll be Sunday, May 29th at 2 p.m. in the City of Rockledge at Schultz Park, Larry Schultz Park, the corner of Levitt Parkway and Fisk Boulevard. We're all set to move to the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Jack Nagy, Christian Smallwood, and Austin Nickel for the Hustlers. First pitch by Hunter Johnson, called strike. Nice pitch by the left-hander, Hunter Johnson. That ball hits right in front of home plate, evens it up at 1-1. Nagy 0 for 2 this afternoon. He grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. He popped up to the third baseman in the second inning. Hunter Johnson in relief of starting pitcher Micah Davis. His pitch is in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Big second inning for the Hustlers has given them a 7-0 lead over the Sarasota Booker Tornadoes. Hard hit ball to shortstop, fielded cleanly. Nice play by Cody Brown of the Tornadoes to record the 6-3 putout. And that will bring up the catcher for MCC, number 10, Christian Smallwood. Smallwood has been a tough out here this afternoon for the Tornadoes. He's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Singled in the first inning and had a RBI. He had a 2 RBI single in the second inning. First pitch, call strike, no balls and 1 strike on Christian Smallwood. Austin Nickel on deck for the Hustlers. Johnson's pitch inside evens it up at 1-1. We are in the bottom of the fourth inning. MCC 7, Sarasota Booker nothing. Line drive, base hit up the middle by Christian Smallwood. He's now 3 for 3 this afternoon. Christian Smallwood, I believe, really wants that Friday Night Locker Room Player of the Game plaque. That will bring up the right fielder for the Hustlers. And that'll also put Eric Adler as a courtesy runner on first base. Austin Nickel, the cleanup batter for the Hustlers, about set to step into the box. One out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Hustlers with a runner on first. Off-speed pitch might be two. Through the legs of the shortstop. It was going to be too easy for the shortstop. You know Brown is better than that. He was looking for two, but you got to feel that baseball first, and nobody knows that more than him. So now the Hustlers with runners on first and second and one out. Tough break by Sarasota Booker. Looked like an easy inning-ending double play. Was hit to the left of the shortstop. Regardless, Mark Potter set to step into the box. He'll be hitting from the right side, pitcher versus pitcher. First pitch through the legs of the catcher. Both runners will move up 90 feet. So now Eric Adler's going to be standing on third, Austin Nickel on second. One ball and no strikes on Mark Potter. If I'm Booker, I'm pretty careful on this one. Potter had a stand-up double that brought home two runners or back in the second inning. Swings the bat extremely well. Off-speed pitch, foul down the left side. Potter turns on it, hits it hard, but pulls it foul. You're down, if you're Sarasota Booker, you're down 7-0 in the bottom of the fourth. I said be careful to Potter. You have to be careful, but you gotta go after him. I mean, if it's a 1-0 game, I'm thinking about walking him, but go ahead and go after the big guy. He's 1 for 2 this afternoon. He grounded out to the third baseman in the first inning and had the stand-up double in the second inning. Off-speed pitch, pulled foul. Has run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mark Potter. Still only 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Adler on third, Nickel on second. For the Hustlers, Hunter Johnson's 1-2 pitch. A slow roller, and I mean slow roller, everybody's going to be safe. It's almost like a bunt. It was a slow roller to the third baseman, not a thing in the world James Bolden could do. So credit Mark Potter with an infield single. Adler scores easily from third. Nichols slides over to third base. So now the Hustlers with runners on the corner up by 8-0. And S.P. Perry about set to step into the box. Perry 1 for 2 this afternoon. He singled and scored in the second inning. He reached on an error by the first baseman in the second inning. Hunter Johnson in a little bit of trouble here. Runners on the corner, still only 1 out. First pitch low and away, 1 ball and no strikes to the Hustlers left fielder. Pitch by Johnson, off-speed pitch, finds the strike zone, evens it up at 1-1. Nice pitch by Hunter Johnson. Good speed in the person of Eric Adler on third base. Courtesy runner breaks for second. He's going to get hung up between first and second. Now breaking for home. The throw home. The runner at third isn't caught in a pickle. He is going to be out at third. So the runner at first eventually goes to second. It looked like the courtesy runner, Ridyard, intentionally got in a rundown trying to score the runner from third because he stopped 3/4 of the way to second base. When he did, the runner at third, Adler broke for home and got caught in no man's land. So nice defensively, Booker did exactly what they needed to do. So now there's 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth with a runner on second base. S.P. Perry still in the batter's box, 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnson takes a quick glance to second. He's going home with a pitch. As we're on the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. (3-1) pitch to S.P. Perry. Off-speed pitch, nice pitch, is run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mike Ridyard, the courtesy runner on second base. MCC up 8-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Johnson twirls and thinks about throwing to second. He does not, so he'll regroup, be set to throw the 3-2 pitch to S.P. Perry. Johnson gets the sign from Underhill. Here's the pitch. Bouncer overhead of the pitcher into center field, knocked down. Scoring easily from second base is Ridyard, and going to second base with the overthrow to the catcher, and now circling around to third base. The speed, alert base running of S.P. Perry. It was a base hit up the middle, which was going to score Ridyard from second. The throw came home, got past the catcher, allowing the speed of Perry to go all the way to third base. So Ridyard scores the 9th run of this game for the MCC Hustlers, and now S.P. Perry standing on third base. Brings up the center fielder for the Hustlers, number 6, Will Erdman. First pitch low, ball 1. Big batter here for Hunter Johnson. S.P. Perry represents the 10th run of this ball game, standing on third base. Ground ball, 2 hopper to the shortstop, throwing over to first base, and he is safe. The throw was high. Off the bag was the first baseman. Erdman beats it out, and the 10th run of this ball game scores in the person of S.P. Perry. It's the speed of Erdman. It was a ground ball to shortstop, drifting to his left. Made the throw to the first base. The throw was high. The first baseman had to go off the bag. That's Tanner Luke, had to jump high to catch it. Coach is going to question the umpire. That was an easy call to make because you could see his foot was off the bag when Erdman touched first base because his foot was in the air having to retrieve the ball. You can't blame Coach Smith for questioning it just to make certain he saw what he called. But regardless, that was the 10th run, which makes it big because if Potter can come back and shut him down in the top of the 5th, then this game is over. Throw over to first base. Erdman gets back safely. Erdman reaches on an error. Hunter Johnson still on the mound. He's made some nice pitches here. He's going home with this one. It's going to be a high hopper to the third baseman, which is going to be close, but nice play by the third baseman, James Bolden. You have to wait for it to come down, which he did. Made a strong throw to first base to get out of this inning. But for the MCC Hustlers in the bottom of the 4th, they come up with 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left. After 4 innings of play this afternoon, the MCC Hustlers 10, the Booker Tornadoes nothing. You're listening to the Friday Night Locker Room, sponsored by Mike Erman Nissan Cadillac. Once again, we're getting close. We're set to move to the top of inning number 5. FHSAA rules state if the one team is up by 10, after 5, after 4.5, if you're the home team, then that's it. So Mark Potter is going to stroll to the mound, try to wrap things up here this afternoon for the Hustlers. Booker's not quite ready to go down yet, though. They're a quality baseball team. They're in the region final, and they're not here for no reason at all. It's a very good baseball team that has won 20 games this year, trying to win their 22nd game of the year. They are a region finalist. The winner of this afternoon's game will play in the state semifinal game, one of 2 state semifinal games next Wednesday in Fort Myers. So it'll be Jake Underhill, Dustin Lambert, and Hunter Johnson for the Booker Tornadoes. Underhill 0 for 1 this afternoon. He ground out to the shortstop in the 2nd inning. Mark Potter back to the mound. Big number 16 thrown from the right side gets the sign from Christian Smallwood. First pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes. Second pitch by Potter, same position, and that's low, 2 balls, no strikes. Dustin Lambert on deck, Hunter Johnson in the hole for the Sarasota Booker Tornadoes. Showing bunt, pulling the bat back, finding the zone, 2 balls and 1 strike. Not much has changed defensively. Outfield still shaded to their left, which is towards right field. Swing and a miss evens it up at 2-2. Infield about where you would expect. Third baseman about 5 or 6 feet behind the bag, obviously shaded to his left. 2-2 pitch thrown by Mark Potter. Fouled out of play towards the first base side and towards the big charter bus that Sarasota Booker rode in this afternoon to get to Melbourne. Once again, Underhill will look at a 2-2 pitch. Potter's set to throw. Foul straight back. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Retrieving the foul ball straight back is number 9, Hunter Johnson. He's scheduled to be the 3rd batter this inning. Call strike 3. Jake Underhill goes down on strikes. That'll bring up the right fielder for the Tornadoes, number 11, Dustin Lambert. The 6th strikeout this afternoon for Mark Potter. We are in the top of the 5th inning. MCC 10, Booker 0. Lambert steps in. First pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Lambert walked in the 2nd inning. He was forced out at second base off of the bat of Hunter Johnson. 1 ball, no strike pitch to Potter. Check swing is going to be like a little semi-bunt. They're going to call a foul ball. We'll even it up at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Tornadoes' right fielder, Dustin Lambert. He steps into the box. Mark Potter is ready. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Nice pitch by Mark Potter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First base side didn't particularly care for that call. You don't usually care for a lot of calls when you're down 10 runs on the road. Here is the off-speed pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Consecutive strikeouts by Mark Potter. So now Tornadoes are down to their last out here in the top of the 5th. And that'll bring up the left-handed hitting pitcher, number 9, Hunter Johnson. Johnson reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. Well hit ball to right field, base hit by Hunter Johnson. First pitch swinging into right field, getting it in quickly, is the right fielder, Austin Nickel. Only the 2nd base hit that Mark Potter has allowed. And that'll bring up number 10, Alex Amaro. Amaro's first at bat. He's batting in the number 9 slot in the place of Cody Brown. Tornadoes need at least 1 run to keep this ball game going. Mark Potter with the baseball in his hand. Now Amaro set to step into the batter's box. Umpire had to record it on his little notepad that he keeps as Amaro is entering the ball game for the first time. And he calls timeout before the first pitch is thrown. Johnson was off and running, so they're going to try to do what they can to keep this game going, and that's what they're supposed to do. You cannot blame them. First pitch foul, straight back out of play, no balls, and 1 strike. Oh, over the bus. No balls, 1 strike to Alex Amaro. Mark Potter cruising his squad leading 10-0. We're on the top of the 5th inning. MCC is the home team. Here's the pitch. Low and away, evens it up at 1-1. Hunter Johnson with a base hit, standing on first base. For the Tornadoes, Alex Amaro. In the batter's box, Micah Davis on deck. Here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. Call strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Amaro and the Tornadoes. Great crowd on hand this afternoon. A good crowd has come over from Sarasota and MCC. Being the home team, no surprise that they brought some people here. Is the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and the MCC Hustlers have defeated the Booker Tornadoes by a score of 10-0. Congratulations to Coach Tom Dooley and his squad. They have advanced to state semifinal action that will be played next Wednesday at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. Big win this afternoon for the Hustlers. From Melbourne Central Catholic, they defeat the Booker Tornadoes by a score of 10-0. We'll look at some numbers before we shut things down. A couple of base hits recorded by Booker this afternoon. Ryan Heller and Hunter Johnson, the only base hits for Sarasota Booker. Leading the way for the MCC Hustlers, Christian Smallwood was 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Coleman LaRoche, 1 for 2 with an RBI, scored a couple of times. Mark Potter was 2 for 3. He had 3 RBIs, a single, a stand-up double. S.P. Perry, a couple of base hits, 2 for 3. Will Urban reached base 2 times. It was a total team effort this afternoon by Coach Tom Dooley's MCC Hustlers. Their record now stands at 30-1 on the season. The Booker Tornadoes season comes to an end. They leave 2016 with a 21-9 record. Nothing to be ashamed of. Coach Jason Schmidt's kids played hard this afternoon. They had a great season to make it all the way to the region final game. Came up a little short, and it was the big 6-run second inning by the Hustlers that really did the Tornadoes in. You give Mark Potter 6 runs early in the game. They picked up a run in the first, so you give MCC and Mark Potter a 7-0 lead after 2. It makes it a real challenge for the opponent, but congratulations to Coach Smith and his squad on an excellent season. Good luck to Coach Tom Dooley and the MCC Hustlers next Wednesday in state semifinal action. We'll announce our player of the game is Christian Smallwood, 3 for 3, 3 RBIs. We'll be presenting a player of the game plaque to Christian after we go off the air. Be sure to look for photos on our Facebook page, facebook.com. Check out our Twitter account. You'll see the pictures on there as well. But we're going to close things down. And don't forget, if you are listening on spacecoastdaily.com or fnlr.net, come back at 7 o'clock. It'll be Archbishop McCarthy versus Rockledge Class 6A Region Final. 2 of the top teams not only in the state of Florida, but 2 of the top teams in the nation. The media composite rankings came out last week, and they have Rockledge at number 4, Archbishop McCarthy at number 5. Those are national rankings. So come back at 7 o'clock, listen to an outstanding, which promises to be an outstanding high school baseball team. But for Tom Palermo back at the studio, Zach Clark, Orville Susong, I'm Steve Wilson. You've been listening to the Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac Game of the Week. We hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Be safe, and we want to wish the Hustlers good luck next week in state semifinal action. Good night, folks.